Starstone commanders, I do apologize for the state your homestead is currently in. It's like a zoo in here, or worse, an imparium. That's right. These red little blighters appeared as out of nowhere when another one of the portals became active. God 7 or 700, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's imps. I know, but really, they're zany, they're exasperating, they're unpredictable, and they have about as much use for history as a professional clairvoyant has. Band of... Why, I'm not one of them! Not one of those exiles that were slaves to demons and their own inadequacies. But talk to them if you must hear their history. I haven't the stomach for the vagaries of my own species. No, what I need is the sound of a symphony, a whiff and a swig of old tasty wine, and above all, a shelter away from imps. Well, aren't you going to leap through? Who knows what wonder awaits you?
Greetings, Source Hunter. I've a great many questions. Well, to start, I do quite wonder how this place came to be. A shelter plane at the end of time? Incredible! Next, I'm curious if you could tell me the exact weight of your partner. I'm guessing somewhere in the area of 24,600 if you had time. I'd also like to inquire after your dear mother. How is her health these days? And that rash on her right cheek. And finally, compasses. How in the... and so the...
What a wonderful place this is. A lovely locale to rest my weary belly. No, that hoity-toity historian thinks he's so much better than us demon thralls just because he was never actually enthralled by demons. And yet he's no right, you are. Grab a drink. We imps, you see, are a mixed breed of demons and some other long-forgotten race, which means we aren't as evil as that we hail from the realm of Nemesis, where demons have ruled supreme since, well, forever, really. Now, curiosity may have killed the cat, poor thing, but it enslaved us imps as well. Yes, well, in hindsight it wasn't, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Here's what happened. In return for our fair share of demonic knowledge, all of us imps had to sign our names in an indestructible book called the Codex, which was to be considered an oath of servitude, a contract of give and take for mutual benefit. Fools that we were, we readily agreed, and thereby signed our way into slavery. Quite so. That's because one day, a particularly clever imp amongst us devised an escape plan. If we would be able to, one night, as the demons lay sleeping after a most sordid orgy indeed, we stole the Codex and fled from Nemesis through a rift. So all we do is run and hide ad nauseam. Eternal fugitives are we. It kind of got lost, to tell you the truth. That's what...
Aren't you going to leap through?
Oh my word. Oh my phew. Right you are.
I sense an eerie presence here.
Yes, like creepy crawlies down the spine. Demons.
No, you do not disappoint. Something much more harmful still. You excruciate beyond all thinkable bearing. You have our thankfulness, our eternal gratitude, the acknowledgement of the void. So why do you fight us? Why do you stand against the promise? Relent, Guardians, relent.
Beauty. I wonder what he meant by that.
And I wonder why we had the thanks of those that long for the end of time.
Forgotten angels from on high. How long has it been? An age. An eon. But you've changed quite considerably, I see. Yes, the divine is but a glimmer in the farthest reaches of your gaze. Well, perhaps I can help you. One of your kind ought to be a bit stronger of arm. A bit quicker of wit, after all. And we are all counting on you, sir. Yourself redone, of course. Your very parts and pieces reorganized into something simply better. Butcher giving you dirty looks. Beggars spitting at your feet. I can certainly help you with that. But you'll have to offer me. I'd quite like to help you, my friend. But unless you've a mark of ability to spare, no deal can be struck. I'd quite like to help you, my friend. But unless you've got a mark of talent to spare, no deal. My autobiography will hardly serve you. What's far more relevant is what I see in you. Quite crucial, your survival, isn't it? And you do seem such a reasonable sort to boot. There's very little pleasure greater than dealing with a reasonable sort, I find.
I'm zapping you just as hard as my finely tuned mental prowess allows. No, not violent. Oh no, oh heavens, it's you. Hello. Yes, please do make yourself recent to what? Oh, Evie.
You're both here once more. Can you guess what's happened? Surely by now you know the signs. Or perhaps you can simply guess from how utterly giddy I am. Take a look. All your work has not been for naught. This last starstone you discovered has given the Weaver just what she needed to mend another portion of the tapestry. Another tantalizing tidbit of long-lost history awaits us. Another piece of your story is ours to discover. Oh, how very thrilling.
For millennia, the God Box was flanked by the two devoted guardians. But Astarte's playmate, a creature called the Trife, turned her attention to the forbidden box. I may know a way to destroy what's inside, hissed the scheming creature. Together, we can set the Guardians free. Open its lid, Astarte, and we can have a look together. Astarte trusted her friend and assented. She pitied the Guardians and welcomed a chance to free them. Let me help you, she whispered into the ear of one. I know your duty, but you both deserve a chance at freedom. Haven't you suffered enough of this chore? She asked the other. Look, your companion is free already. The Guardians, unaccustomed to such attention, started. She had planted a seed of curiosity within them, rekindled a desire that had, for eons, lain dormant. Slowly, they glanced at one another. and the Trife's trap was sprung.
We were seduced then, tricked into neglecting our duty for the briefest of moments.
You know what are great? Jokes. Oh, I could tell a joke or two.
All we did was glance at one another. If that's a sin, there's not an innocent in all the world.
That box contained the Void Dragon.
Have you seen my magic box? It's got all kinds of wonders stashed inside.
I salute you, my master. Other elementals lie in wait until with a word you command them to action. Which one of them, pray, has your preference? And that is your final choice?
Yes, it is.
Yes, indeed. That is our final choice.
Thy will be done.
Dearest guardians, how I rejoice at the sight of your growth, both in power and in prowess. And yet I cannot help but wonder, will it ever be enough? Will you craft yourselves once more into the warriors that you were? Oh, in the end you are like infants still, infants that would perish with a broken wail had they not their mother's milk to suckle. But you always were like children, weren't you? As are we all in the eyes of the gods. And yet they set an impossible task before you, then blamed you when you failed. How foolish even the divines can be, how lacking in compassion.
I do feel like a child, being kept in the dark about so many things.
I guess we'll have to find more Starstone and grow up.
By the hoary beard of Boreas, can it be? You've come home. It's about time, isn't it? Your quarters have been invaded by all manner of madness. Does my brilliant frost beguile you? I am ice, of course. A soldier of ice, to be explicit, and this is where I have dwelt across many eons. Here I wait for the day, if ever, I am called to serve the realm again. Could I be more explicit? This place is of your essence. Can't you feel it in your very bones, as I do in every crystal of frost within me? You belong here, and this place belongs to you. I cannot tell you why or how, but I know it to be true. Of course, alongside my opposite, the eternal fire, we were summoned in service of a goal greater than the timeless battle between heat and cold. Yes, together we sought victory against the void. You can thank our great army for all of this, you know. For existence itself. Those were times of great proportions. Your home, your rules, naturally. What would you like to know? explore your abode.
You both puzzle and delight me, Sir Arkham.
I wonder how much of a spark it takes to send a human to vapor.
You flatter me, my lady, but yes, I quite like to weave.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. Most certainly.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye, one can't quite get around demons these days. Luckily, old Moloch is as gentle as, well, not a lamb exactly, more as a starved lion. But that is still exceptionally meek as demons go. His powers are formidable, but don't let him deceive you. For all that he grants, he grabs something in return. Quid pro quo is his motto. Always remember that. Got it in one. Wonderful place, isn't it? I find that a dollop of cold helps to concentrate when I'm writing my history. Perhaps it will inspire you too. Much can be learned from elementals. Their forces are primal and ancient. Wield them, and you wield the very cause of nature. It shall be my pleasure. I think he is an ancient being, so very old he outstrips the gods in their longevity. I think he used to be one with the void, that he used to roam freely through a universe that knew no creed. Perhaps that is why, I conjecture, he may well regard all that is as an abomination as terrifying as we hold the void to be. Time is a transgression most contemptible in his eyes. Space, mere savagery. We know what he did. He befriended Astarte and fed her curiosity until it became so agitated with the need to know what rested in the God Box that she herself, this creature of unadulterated purity, turned to deception. He longs for a return to a pre-creational state, for the death of the gods, for the nothingness in which he was born. At least, that is my highly educated guess. Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Of all the wicked things, the one substance that can stand in the way of the void, and she's turning it into vessels of blood. You'll have to redouble your efforts, my friend. You'll have to find more starstones before she does, and forestall her insidious distortion.
How might I serve our mission? Leandra. She desires to be Mother of the Void, but you have the power to undo her born-in-blood litter. Though they be baptized in blood, you can cleanse the starstones still, and use them to thwart threads I weave and tales I see. All will I tell. The Son of Frost, how mighty he was, a giant that lived for war. He and the aspect of fire, what enemies they used to be. But you sealed their allegiance and their friendship so that together, you could overcome the dark that was spreading. Moloch, I know of him. He has a kind soul, in as far as kindness has least to dwell within the confines of a demon's body. He is kind in that he is honest. For that which you give, you will receive something in return with no strings attached. No unpleasant threads for me to weave. Not always was he so, no. He was true to his vicious nature. But during the Great War on Chaos, he, supposedly immortal, found himself on his back, with your sword halfway down his throat. You saw the fear in his eyes, the incomprehensibility of death and defeat, and so you took pity on him. He hasn't forgotten your kindness and became somewhat kind in return. A demon redeemed.